welcome back. Rachel Joy Olson here, your holistic health and wellness coach. Today we're going to be making garbanzo or chickpea and black bean chili. It's a delicious recipe of mine that can be found in the Magic of Living Nutrition. So let's get started. So we're going to start by turning on a nice large pot onto medium on the stove. To get started, we're going to start with a little bit of coconut oil. Now, I really love using coconut oil as an oil because it's got a really high temperature tolerance. Things like olive oil has a low temperature tolerance, so you could do a flash fry maybe with an olive oil, but the coconut oil is by far the best oil to use for high heat. Okay, we got that olive oil in there. We're going to add a little bit of onion. So some sweet onion that has already been diced up. Mix that around with the coconut oil. Get those flavors and smells melding together. Always tastes and smells so lovely in the kitchen. All right, we're gonna add some peppers, some yellow and red peppers that have already been chopped up and diced. Turn this up just a little bit here. Next we'll add the Brussels sprouts. So I chop the Brussels sprouts into quarters, take off the ends and chop them into quarters. I know some people, especially kids, seem to hate Brussels sprouts, but I love Brussels sprouts. And you know, have fun with your kids and say, you know, they're little brains. Come on, don't you want to eat little brains like Halloween time? All right, Brussels sprouts are in. And then we're going to add our garlic. So 5 cloves of garlic that have been either chopped or minced or crushed. All right, garlic is in. So we're going to saute this for about 3 to 5 minutes, however long is needed for everything to soften up. While we're waiting, chili is a really great dish to make when you want some meals through the week. It can be frozen, it can be placed into Tupperware containers and frozen, thawed out easily on the stove again. And it actually keeps for about 3 to 5 days in the fridge. So if you make a really big batch, with which is what this recipe makes, you'll have enough meals for about 3 or 4 days. So it's a really great way for another grab and go meal so that's ready. You're not having to cook fresh every single day. All right, let's give this another stir around here. It smells so delicious. Okay, we're going to add the tomatoes. So we have 4 fresh tomatoes chopped. We'll add those in. Give them a stir. Half a cup of filtered water. Again, I always use filtered water as opposed to tap water. You want to make sure that you've got the cleanest water possible, even if you're cooking it. All right, a can of corn, of course organic. Anything we use should be as organic as much as possible, and anything coming out of a can, you want to make sure that you're finding a BPA-free can. Because the BPA is a chemical preservative that's a carcinogenic, which means causes cancer. So we want to stay away from the BPA and any other chemical preservatives that are used in our food. All right, we've got the corn in there. Throw in some chopped mushrooms. You can use a can of mushrooms or you can use fresh chopped mushrooms. Again, as much fresh stuff as we can use, I would highly recommend that. All right, apple cider vinegar. We're going to put 2½ teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in. Good. For a little bit of sweetener on this one, we're going to use agave nectar. We're going to throw in 1½ tablespoons of agave nectar. Now, let's stir that around. Keep things going here. All right, we're gonna add in our chili spices now. We'll start with coriander, 1 tablespoon. Coriander, beautiful spice. 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I always talk about how sea salt is something that we need to use. It's got all 80 minerals that our body uses to run at its optimal level. So remember, always sea salt. Ground cumin. So we have 2.5 teaspoons of ground cumin. And like anything else, our spices should be organic as much as possible as well. 1 teaspoon of chili powder, or if you're someone who likes things really spicy, feel free to add in a little bit more. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of, blow your lips off spice, but I like a little bit of a taster. All right, let's get those spices in there, mixed around, so they can all meld together. Oh. Just wait until you make this yourself. It's absolutely beautiful. All right. Okay, we're gonna add in our beans. So we've got organic canned or chickpeas or garbanzo beans, which is what they're also called. And again, it's organic and BPA free. And our baked beans. So of course, these are baked beans in tomato sauce. I grew up on canned baked beans. And now that I'm vegan, of course, I don't use the pork. However, I do love baked beans in tomato sauce. It takes me right back to when I was a kid. All right, let's mix these beans in here. Mix them all around. This makes a nice big pot of chili so that you'll have lots to eat this week. I'm gonna let that simmer just for a few minutes, and then we'll add our last remaining ingredient. Okay, we'll finish off with adding a little bit of nutritional yeast. So this nutritional yeast is a non-active yeast, so anybody that has yeast problems or candida, it's absolutely fine to have this. Some people have allergies to it, so you'd want to make sure that you do know if you have an allergy to it or not. However, what I love about nutritional yeast is I use this a lot for my vegan cheeses. This will sprinkle on a little bit of cheese flavoring. It's got a little bit of a salty flavor as well, and for those of you who do need B12, this is an excellent source of B12. All right, so we're going to add 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast to our chili. Give it one last stir. Now you can let that simmer again for a few minutes just to let the flavors meld. And if you decide that you want to have a little bit more spice in there, throw in spice as you see fit. Okay, our chili is done. Let's take a little bit out of here and put it in the bowl. What a nice, beautiful color this chili is.